Michael Rennie was ill the day the earth stood still, but he told us where we stand. And Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the invisible man. Then something went wrong for Fay Ray and King Kong. They got caught in a celluloid jam. Then at a deadly pace it came from outer space. And this is how the message ran.
Hi there, Dax here for another Pre-Regan science fiction. So, I scoured my DVD collection and... nope. I couldn't find a worse comic book movie than Fantastic Four. Oh well. See you all next week.
Everything you know is wrong. Black is white, up is down, and short is long. And everything you thought was just so important doesn't matter.
Oh, that didn't fool you. Still over 20 minutes left in the video, you say. Look, I don't want to do this. Everyone has made fun of this movie. Everyone. And this would mean that I'd be doing 2 movies that the Nostalgia Critic has done in the same series. Okay, fine. Here it is. Batman and Robin. This time I'm not going to do a history of the character, namely Batman, because that would take days, and we have an awful movie to look at. But I will do a quick overview of this movie franchise. Tim Burton made the film Batman in 1989. It did well, so they let Burton do a sequel in 1992 called Batman Returns. They made one mistake though. They took the reins off of Tim Burton. And so the movie they ended up getting was odd. It still made money, but not as much as Warner Brothers would have hoped. So a sequel was made, but it was handed over to Joel Schumacher. And in 1995, Batman Forever came out. It was more bright, colorful, and goofy than the Burton films, which the critics didn't like, but the box office did. So Schumacher was allowed to make one final Batman movie. And final is the word. This movie, Batman and Robin, led to the end of the superhero movie trend of the 90s that didn't rebound until Spider-Man came out in 2002. So was it really that bad? Well, the short answer is yes. But the long answer is... wow. The first shot on screen is George Clooney's latex-clad butt. Not that I'm complaining, but then it's immediately followed up by Chris O'Donnell's butt and, of course, the infamous and all-important crime-fighting tools of bat nipples and a bat cod piece. We then get the one actively funny joke in the whole movie. Yeah, like how Fairy Tale A True Story is based on real historical events. So, after we get to see the least cool motorcycle ever made, Commissioner Gordon reads the script for us.
Batman. A new villain has commandeered the Gotham Museum. He's frozen the Antiquities Wing. He's turned the security guards into blocks of ice.
Gee, good thing they don't wait for there to be a crime before they do their long gearing up thing, or they'd never make it there on time. And now we get introduced to the infamous Mr. Freeze, as played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think you would have had to have been living under a glacier for the past decade to not know what his quirk is.
The Iceman cometh. Everything freezes. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Yeah, it's that weird Austrian accent. So Batman and Robin burst through the wall of this museum. Because, you know, property damage isn't a crime. And Robin even manages to put the Robin symbol in the wall with his motorcycle. Not sure how he managed that, but since Freeze has iced the whole place down, they need an alternate mode of transportation.
But I haven't skied in ages.
Alas, no. They don't have manta ray sled dogs. Instead, they have the much stupider skates in their shoes. While they play hockey with Freeze's lackeys with a diamond as the puck, don't ask. Freeze launches his rocket that he has in the middle of the museum. We're only 10 minutes into this goddamn movie. How do you cram so much stupid into such a small space? So, in the rocket, Freeze ices Batman's suit to the wall.
Chemistry 101. What happens to rubber when it's super cooled?
But Robin shows up and uses his superpower, being a whiny Johnny.
I thought you were going to stay in the museum, round up some thugs.
How about nice to see you? Glad you're here to save my life.
But thankfully, Batman has a plan to get them down. By surfing on the rocket's doors. Okay, how the hell does that work? I hate to say it, but Mr. Freeze's Donka the Cryo Phoenix Ice Wings and even cooled air blast makes far more sense than a small square of metal. Be able to slow your descent so as to not splatter like a wedding cake thrown by David Letterman. But wait! This chase isn't over! As they follow Freeze down this frozen tunnel where Robin dives to catch the diamond. Because, you know, a floor can harm a diamond. And Freeze gets away.
I'll kill you next time!
3 years he said that.
We have another main character to gain, so...
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Doom...
Here, Dr. Pamela Isley is trying to crossbreed plants and animals to...
These plants will be able to fight back like animals.
Look, lady, plants have been living and evolving on this planet for far longer than animals. They are more than capable than outlasting us human Johnny-come-latelys. But she's not alone in her research, as she works with the mad Dr. Woodrow. Okay, I'm gonna do this quickly before we get to the ungodly bad next character we meet. But to be quick, this is Dr. Woodrow. You might notice something different about him, namely that he's a freaking humanoid tree. How do you mess that up? But as I said, that's nothing compared to what we're about to see. Any comic book fans with a faint heart may want to look away for this one, as we are now introduced to... Bane.
Behold, the ideal killing machine. I call this little number Bane.
That's right, they turned Bane, one of the smartest, most powerful, most ruthless villains in DC, into a mindless brute. For the uninitiated, the entire point of Bane is to be a sort of dark mirror of the multi-talented pulp hero, Doc Savage. So not only is he stronger than you, he's smarter than you. He was able to outthink the Batman, using other A-list villains, such as the likes of the Joker and Two-Face, as pawns, so that he could personally go and beat Batman. And he does so by breaking his spine. I mean that literally. He was usually only defeated because of his crippling addiction to the steroids that are pumped directly into his veins, called Venom, which he created, not Dr. Frickin' Woodrow. Oh, and listen to this.
My super soldier serum.
Yeah, Marvel just called. And they now have Disney's lawyers on their side, so you're screwed. Okay, I misspoke there. Pamela actually developed the Venom in this stupid movie, and when she found out that Woodrow has been misusing her super death steroids, she confronts him about it. And he takes it pretty well.
I'm afraid you'll have to die.
Well, that was a short and pointless tale. So let's get another short and pointless tale, as we get to hear Freeze's sympathetic backstory.
Dr. Victor Freeze, 2-time Olympic decathlete and Nobel Prize winner for molecular biology.
Yes, that's right. This is the second movie in a row where we have a villain who's a doctor named Victor, who has a blatantly obvious last name.
After his wife contracted a rare disease, McGregor's syndrome, he hoped to freeze her in a cryogenic sleep until he could find a cure.
That's gotta hurt.
That liquid is 50 below. Freeze needs extreme cold to survive. His cryosuit uses diamond-enhanced lasers to keep him at 0 degrees.
So, Mr. Zero has to stay below 0, eh? No one's gonna get that one. Well, In case you hadn't guessed, Pamela Isley isn't actually dead, as falling into her chemicals had a similar effect, turning her into Poison Ivy.
The animal plant toxins had a rather unique effect on me. They replaced my blood with aloe, my skin with chlorophyll.
If your skin was made of chlorophyll, wouldn't it be green? Yeah, like that. And, dooming the future of humanity, Uma Thurman kills Dr. Woodrow the same way she kills most men, by kissing him.
Oh, I'm gonna go to the special hell.
Meanwhile, Mr. Freeze is hiding out in his super secret headquarters, under a giant neon sign that says Mr. Freeze's super secret headquarters.
Frosty?
Yeah, boss.
Frosty? His Bob is named Frosty?
One more giant diamond of this size, and my freezing engine will be complete. I will freeze the city. Then I will hold Gotham ransom. The city fathers will have no choice but to give me the billions I need to complete my research.
Couldn't you just, fence the gigantic, one-of-a-kind diamonds for money instead?
My plan is sheer elegance in its simplicity, isn't it?
We then get to meet just Barbara, last name redacted, Alfred's niece, the daughter of his dead sister, because you have to be an orphan to stay in Wayne Manor. It's just a rule. Okay, say what you will about Arnold and his terrible puns, but in some of the more quiet scenes revolving around his wife, he actually puts in an acting job. And as much as George Clooney is phoning in a performance, he actually wakes up for a couple of the more touching scenes with Alfred. But Alicia Silverstone doesn't even pretend to act for a single moment in this entire movie. See?
Uncle Alfred!
Oh, my dear.
I'm on break from
Oxbridge Academy, Alfred's alma mater.
the new computer sciences division. Don't worry, Uncle Alfred. I'm terrified of these things.
Barbara, I hope you'll stay with us.
Oh, but sir,
Oh, I don't know. All this luxury really isn't my style, but, yeah, I'd love to.
Don't believe his lies.
I can only figure that she was hired for sex appeal, but this is a PG-13 movie. So I guess they're banking on us being turned on by her in this schoolgirl uniform and a leather jacket. Also, the internet already existed in 1997. But the scene does show us that Batman is, in fact, the world's greatest detective.
From
Oxbridge Academy, Alfred's alma mater.
How'd you know?
It says so on the patch on your sweater.
Well, Ivy and Woodrow were actually employees of Wayne Enterprises. So she decided to go see her old boss. Dude, why are you still wearing a luchador mask when you're in street clothes? Well, from that ridiculousness, we go to the new observatory that Wayne Enterprises is about to open. Okay, Bruce, whoever you hired that put your observatory in the hands of a giant statue holding it over a bottomless pit, you should probably fire.
This new telescope can see all around the globe.
Yes, if you'll just watch these monitors right here. Dr. Lee?
Satellites already in orbit allow us to reflect light from any given point around the planet.
Reflected back to our very own Gotham City for observation.
Just don't point it at my bedroom.
Well, that's invasive. So Poison Ivy comes in and rants about plants.
Mammals. A day of reckoning is coming. That's right. The same plants and flowers that saw you crawl from the primordial soup will reclaim this planet, and there will be no one to protect you.
So, Bruce invites her to an auction to raise money for the rainforest, which is actually just a trap to try and catch a dangerous supervillain, as he's bringing out the family jewels in the hopes of drawing out Mr. Freeze. I don't really blame him. So she shows up at the auction dressed ridiculously, and also in an ape suit.